I was back on 2QQ. That night, the grand stage, usually filled with cheers, held a tinge of anxiety unseen by the cameras. The flashing lights attempted to mask the tension hanging in the air, but to those watching closely, something was amiss. Xiao Zhan stood with a faint smile, but his eyes lacked their usual calm. In another corner of the stage, Wang Yibo watched his friend with slightly furrowed brows. He knew all too well how Xiao Zhan acted when something was bothering him. That expression wasn't just tired, it was a sign that something was going on behind the scenes. But the show continued, and each second felt increasingly tense. The audience might not have noticed, but Yibo had noticed strange behavior since before the show began. Xiao Zhan's manager was seen talking back and forth with the organizers, his face growing paler with each return. Yibo approached them, but received only brief, unsatisfying answers. When the music finally stopped and the guests were asked to prepare for the next segment, Xiao Zhan was held back by a staff member. There was a quick exchange that sounded like a sudden instruction, not a polite one. The look in Xiao Zhan's eyes changed for a moment, a small, hidden hurt, but enough to make Yibo tense. It didn't take long for Yibo to understand that his best friend was being treated unfairly. He didn't know why the organizers had changed the rules that night, shortened their performance time, or made Xiao Zhan seem like a secondary character in a major event that was supposed to highlight both of them. Yibo felt his chest heat up. When it was their turn to take center stage, Xiao Zhan remained professional. He smiled, bowed respectfully, and spoke according to script. But Yibo couldn't help but stare intently. There was a slight tremor in Xiao Zhan's voice, a tension holding back a complaint he shouldn't have voiced. As the Q&A session began, the organizers interrupted Xiao Zhan's turn again. The microphone he was supposed to be aiming at was suddenly shifted to another artist. The audience might have assumed this was part of the show, but Yibo clearly saw how Xiao Zhan's hand tensed at his side. That was enough for Yibo. Within seconds, Yibo stepped forward and grabbed the switched microphone. In a cold yet polite tone, he returned it to Xiao Zhan without saying a word to the organizers. The audience cheered, thinking this was a sweet moment between friends. In fact, it was Yibo's first protest. The organizers looked nervous, but tried to keep their expressions calm. But Yibo didn't care. For him, the night wasn't about the event, not about reputation, but about his respected friend who didn't deserve such treatment. Xiao Zhan could only stare at Yibo for a moment, as if expressing his gratitude with his eyes. Segment after segment passed, but the tension grew. The climax came when the organizers tried once again to cut off Xiao Zhan's interaction. Yibo, standing next to him, immediately tore his gaze away from the camera and stared straight at the staff member who had made the gesture. The gaze was sharp, needing no words to convey his dissatisfaction. The audience even fell silent for a moment, sensing something bigger was happening. The camera kept trying to shift focus, but the moment couldn't be completely covered. Yibo turned to his friend and made a small gesture as if to say, "I'm here." Finally, as the closing song ended and the artists were being asked to prepare to leave the stage, Yibo made a decision that surprised everyone. Without his usual closing remarks, he left the stage early. His steps were firm, full of intent, and showed no hesitation whatsoever. The audience erupted in cheers, the media was confused, and the organizers appeared panicked. But Yibo didn't stop. His departure was a warning, a message conveyed subtly but clearly. He would not be part of an event that treated his friend with disrespect. Backstage, Yibo immediately sought out Xiao Zhan. He found his friend sitting silently, holding an unopened bottle of mineral water. Upon seeing Yibo, Xiao Zhan took a deep breath, trying to hide his surging emotions. Yibo simply patted him on the shoulder, without saying a word. The best support sometimes comes silently. What they didn't expect was how quickly the moment would spread across social media. Fans pieced together video clips, read expressions, and deduced what had happened. And without hesitation, they stood behind Yibo. Comments flooded the platform, voicing support for the young dancer's decisive action. "It's for self-respect," read one comment, which received tens of thousands of likes. Many fans nodded in agreement. They knew Yibo wasn't the type to overreact. If he were to act that strongly, something truly unfair had happened to Xiao Zhan. Within hours, topics about Yibo's bravery were trending on various platforms. While the media tried to play down or downplay the incident, fans dug for more evidence. They saw Yibo not just as an idol, but as a loyal and courageous friend. Xiao Zhan, who is usually very cautious about expressing his emotions, was visibly moved by the fans' support. He didn't blame anyone or even mention the committee. Yet, his friendship with Yibo seemed even stronger. For many, the moment served as a reminder that beneath the glitz and glamour of the entertainment world, there's a much more sincere bond. In the days that followed, neither Yibo nor Xiao Zhan offered a lengthy explanation. They simply posted photos together with light smiles, a quiet message that their friendship remained strong. Fans understood that without further explanation. Nevertheless, that night remains remembered as one of the most respectful moments in their relationship. A night when Yibo stood up without hesitation to defend his best friend, when pride took precedence over popularity, and when the world realized that loyalty still exists in an industry full of pretense. Since then, relations between Yibo and the organizers have reportedly been somewhat strained, but he has shown no remorse. For Yibo, his actions that night were the right ones. He wasn't seeking a sensation, merely wanting to show that there are boundaries that shouldn't be crossed, especially when it comes to those he respects. Beneath his cold demeanor, he is a man who holds the value of justice very firmly. Xiao Zhan secretly feels more at ease every time he remembers Yibo's courage that night. The entertainment world can often make one feel alone even when surrounded by so many people. But Yibo's simple act reassured him that he wasn't facing all the pressure alone. The friendship they've built over the years is stronger than many expected. Fans continue to celebrate that moment as a symbol of solidarity and courage. They remember it as the night Yibo showed that fame is no excuse to allow injustice to happen. For them, it wasn't just a stage play, but proof that even in the spotlight, there are still people willing to stand up for someone important. And to this day, whenever fans look back at footage from that night, they always nod with pride. Because what Wang Yibo did wasn't just a spontaneous act, but proof that he truly values Xiao Zhan as a friend, not just a colleague in the entertainment industry.